What a funny story here. All right, so there was a word, you know this term, woke, right? Woke used to be this term. It was, I don't want to say harmless, but it was used by a lot of people that were into the whole, like, you had a lot of pro-black folk that would use it, and it was like talking about basically being aware of what the hell is going on. It's always a conspiracy for the conspiracy. Well, then their enemies, their ideological enemies, not the ideological enemies to pro-blacks. You know, you had the leftists who would use that term as just general leftists that would use that term regardless of color. And then their ideological enemies started using it as ironic or unironic, depending on what way you look at it, to describe kind of what's going on. And describing all the goofiness that happens, definitely as it pertains to social justice. And so he almost got hijacked here. And hilariously enough, Toure, who is an activist, I don't know, what is he, still on CNN? MSNBC, that's what it is. He has said, and you can see the tweet right here, at this point, woke is a slur. The way the right uses it is an undercover way of saying those people or non-white people. That there's not anybody using that term to mean non-white people. That's nonsense. I mean, I'd argue that most of the people that are being called woke are white leftists. It's a polite way of saying the N-word, but in this case, the N-word includes blacks, LGBTQ, basically all these groups that they're buzzing around. He said there's a lot of white fear on the right, as well as he continues, fear of losing status, fear of people wanting revenge or wanting to upend social order. Fear seems to be the guiding force on the right. Hilariously enough, that's not true. This whole bit about the whole N-word situation, or it even being likened to that, is quite insane. But what else do these people have, right? Their term got basically used against them. And now, because they don't have really anything else in the playbook, it's accused the other side of racism. So now all of a sudden the term is now a slur, despite really it being leftists who really kind of let that word grow legs. So now it's so for some reason it's racist because reasons. Look, and this is a term that I don't, there may be people using it rather loosely for sure, but I don't think that represents the general landscape. And people that generally do use it that have followings are able to define it in some way, shape, or form. You might not agree with the definition, but that's fine. But to say that it is akin to, let's say, the N-word, or more inaccurately putting it, it means non-white people, is just utter nonsense. But you got to understand, we're dealing with modern kind of academic leftists. That's all they got. They don't have anything else. So it's like, hey, Flail, we're losing. Oh, let's just pull that trusty old race card there. And now all of a sudden it means non-white. So they're trying to basically diminish the term that got hijacked from them, ironically, to now mean something. So where you're using it akin to a slur when nobody's using it like that. You're just a fool. And maybe you don't like the way that it's being used. But again, if you want to disagree with the definition, that's a whole nother thing. But to misrepresent the argument is what leftists are really, really good at doing, inaccurately presenting it as. Again, that term is consistently used to describe other white people. So I don't know, didn't ask you about what woke meant, Siri. I guess she's talking on my watch here. Nonetheless, no, it doesn't mean non-white. You're insane. Wherever you're viewing the content, I appreciate you. If you enjoyed it, you may be interested in my comic book company, Rippaverse Comics. Our first book and campaign, ISOM #1, brought in $3.7 million with tens of thousands of satisfied customers. Visit Rippaverse.com to check out our store and stay up to date with the latest campaigns from one of the hottest new comic book companies. Also, my first big step towards a parallel economy was the development of my personal website, ericdjuly.com. This entirely replaced my Patreon. Now, if you enjoy this content, please consider becoming a member over at the website. We have an ever-expanding list of perks for various membership tiers, a forum, and a phone app. Some of these perks will even benefit you if you're fans of the Rippaverse. Anyway, I appreciate you so much for being a supporter and or customer. I even got a little love for my haters.